too.
Yes, I love that section in the book where you go through that and how many times we say yes when we mean no. But then there was also a part in the book where you talk about hearing no isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? No is sometimes no, it doesn't mean you fall to pieces because somebody said no. It means somebody has expressed their boundary and you know what that means. And then you can get on. You're not trying to pick up a story about why they are acting a certain way, various things about that. So I really, really loved that section in the book about the yes and no, because that is so important. I mean, people talk about that, but there was a way that you described it in the book that I felt like really illustrated it in a way that meant something today. I don't know if that
yeah, no, it is. It's super important because it doesn't only go through sexuality. It goes through every phone call we make, every conversation we have, every time we make a request or have a request made to us. Yes and no it's just super important. And I mean, it's the most basic words, probably that kids, the first words they learn are probably yes and no.
Yeah.
Certainly no. And yet then they end up getting cross. The wires get crossed and we're saying yes when we mean no, no when we mean yes. And then we can't trust ourselves or each other. We have no idea what we mean because everyone's using words the wrong way. So, yeah, I think when you can phrase, if you can think of, if somebody can say no, that means I can trust their yes. That's really helpful.
Yes, I agree.
It's a way of reframing it so that you realize it's information and it means, oh, wow, this person is trustworthy because actually they can say what's true to me.
Right. And I'm not left guessing.
Yeah.
What we do a lot of times. We're left guessing.
Yeah. And making up stories. Exactly. Oh, they've said yes, they've accepted the invitation, but was it too much or have it, do they really want to or should I?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that even touching back on what you were talking about, like how most people in the West experience puberty and sexuality, it's a very messy, at such a young age, it's a very messy thing to go through. And then you carry that into your adult life. And so there's layers upon layers as we do these things. Right. And they just keep layering on each other. And then we're looking through layers of things too that we're experiencing. And really what I felt after your book is that you're peeling back those layers. You're helping us look at the layers that we have that we probably don't even know are there. But those layers and those suppression, the energy we spend on trying to fight the thoughts or the feelings or the energy we spend on not knowing if someone means yes or no, whatever it is, right? There's all this expended energy. And as you said, people feel like they've landed. To me, what it feels like is I've cleared out the energetic space for myself. Like I don't have these things that I'm holding on to that are, fake, like a waste of my time or things that have been worth me addressing because they're just something that's went on in my mind. It's like, okay, this is how it really feels to be me. And I don't think a lot of people know what that feels like.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, that is exactly it. People don't know what it feels like to be themselves. Yeah. And isn't that sad? And that is the ultimate aim of Living Tantra, is to learn who you are and to be able to be yourself, to be able to shine as this beautiful being that you are.
Right. Yeah. So who would you say your book would appeal to and why?
I think it has appealed to a lot of people. A lot of singles come because they've been struggling with sexuality. They want to have connection. It's a lovely way to meet people. A lot of couples want to come, or half of a couple wants to come because they want to deepen their relationship. Some people come because they just want to know more about themselves because they know they've hit a wall or they've got stuck and they know they want to grow somehow. And actually in my workshops, a lot of people, I would say most people come because one of their friends has told them something about it. Or what happens even more is somebody's done the workshops and their friends have seen the transformation they've gone through. And I want some of that. What have you been doing?
Right.
Can you tell me what you've been doing? Because I want some of that. And So a lot of people come because they've just witnessed what it does for other people,
Yeah.
and that is fantastic for me, because then that's the right people coming. And I hope that the book really gives people a taste and a sense of that, so that either they can live it in their own life through reading the book, because it really does take you on a journey. And then sometimes, from the book, people are inspired to come to the workshops because they just have a sense of the realness and the authenticity of it, and they want to live that, especially with other people, with other people on the same journey. That's really powerful.
Right. So you have a workshop coming up. You want to tell us a little bit about
We
that?
do, yeah. We have a 5-day workshop coming up over New Year, and it's kind of an introduction to Living Tantra. So we do Living Tantra starting the series every spring, but over New Year we do this 5-day workshop, which every year it starts on the 28th of December. So it's like you've done with Christmas, and you're in a transition. So it's a time of celebration, but it's also a time of letting go of the past year and opening up and visioning the new year, and being in connection, and like somehow living a community in a community for 5 days, where you can feel what it's like to care about yourself and each other, and to let go of the past and to open to the future. And so it's a beautiful celebration and a lovely introduction to Living Tantra, actually.
Yeah. And where will it be held?
So that will be at Earth Spirit Center in Somerset. That's where we do most of our work.
Okay. And I'll
So
include
in England, yeah, because
okay.
you're not in England, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the US, but we have a lot of UK listeners. So,
and we have a lot of US customers, actually. People do come to the UK from the US to do the workshops. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll put a link in the show notes for the listeners.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So before we close out today,
yeah,
what do you hope the readers learn or take away after reading your book?
I hope they have a sense of being a little more in love with themselves, a little more connected to themselves, a little more able to live fully and authentically, and feel alive, feel their aliveness and the goodness of who they are when they're connected to themselves.
Yeah,
that's what I hope they take away.
Well, again, I love the book. It was an amazing journey for me. Again, not really knowing what Tantra was or Living Tantra. I can definitely see how, it's a lifestyle is maybe the word I would use for it. Yeah. So can you tell the listeners how they can find out a little bit more about you?
Sure. The website, janday.com, is almost certainly the best place to go to. There's some videos on there. There's lots and lots of, on the press sec tab, there's lots and lots of articles and interviews and things that I've written and people that other people have written. So you can really find out a lot. There are a few things on YouTube, but I would say everything starts from the website, janday.com. Okay. And of course, if people want to get the book, I think most bookstores would have it, and you can get it from Amazon and, like all the normal places that you would order online, they'll have a copy of it.
Great. And I'll link it again in the show notes so that it's easy to find. So my guest today has been Jan Day, author of the book, Living Tantra, A Journey into Sex, Spirit, and Relationship. Jan, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been an amazing conversation with you.
Thank you, Sloan. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Yes. You've been listening to the Create What You Speak podcast, brought to you by webtalkradio.net. You can also hear the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting platform. I'm Sloan Fremont, and I hope you'll join me for the next episode of the Create What You Speak podcast, where we will continue to free our minds, expand our consciousness, and untangle those thoughts and patterns that keep us from living the life we desire. Check out my website, sloanfremont.com, to learn more.